Welcome to Garage Talk Unwrapped, episode 6. This month we're at the UK Garage and Bodyshop event at the NEC. We have interviews from the Schaeffler RepXpert conference and a new product feature from Laser Tools. Let's do this.
Chris, now am I at the UK Garage and Bodyshop event? This industry needs help, doesn't it?
It does, yes. Our latest statistics show that there are 22,000 vacancies in the retail automotive sector. And around 17,500 of those are for technical roles. So clearly that's where the areas of focus need to be. Those technical roles are for technicians of all types, so light, heavy, bus and coach, but also in the accident repair sector. In my view, the long-term solution to that is to invest in apprenticeships for employers to really maximise the opportunity that they've got in making sure that young people have got an attractive choice, which is the automotive sector. And I think collectively, we've got some work to do to make sure that we are a sector of choice.
But it also doesn't enable garage owners to be at shows like today, does it? Because they can't get out their own garage because they're so busy, because the car park's getting older and the work is becoming more, isn't it?
Yeah, shows like today are a perfect way of people getting up-to-date information and learning what good looks like, and learning from each other. Networking, sharing, sitting down on some of the talks at the stages there. It's all good professional development so they can make informed decisions about how they can take their own businesses forward.
But of course, the staff covering their business, they can't really come out and talk to us because it's catch-22.
It is, but if you're to be a professional future-proof business, then you've got to think a little bit longer term than just day to day. And investing in your own knowledge by coming to shows like this is, in my view, essential.
How do we solve this issue, Chris? Because is there a skill shortage or a shortage of people in general?
I think there's a lack of understanding as to what the modern automotive sector is. There are common misconceptions that it's old, dirty, it's outdated and boring, and it's a man's world. So they're the things we need to work on at a young age. We need to make sure that people at junior schools see the automotive industry for what it is, an exciting, vibrant place to work with great lifelong career opportunities.
Yeah.
And the careers advice at senior school needs to be really, really an accurate portrayal of what a vocational option is as opposed to an academic option. And as long as we get those things right and people then have got all the information they need to make an informed decision about what an automotive career actually is.
Because there's no better time to be in the industry now. We've got hydrogen, we've got EV coming through, we've got new technology, but we're still working on cars. So it's really exciting time because nobody knows what the next 2 years holds and the next 5-10 years. So it's all about learning, isn't it?
Oh, totally. I mean, if I was doing it all again, I'd wish I was in this generation.
Yeah. Because
you're exactly right. It is truly exciting. We've got some amazing technology. The cars are cool. The cars give anybody that's interested in tech the perfect career to be involved in tech. But it's not just the technology side of it as well. It's our sector's changing in the way that people buy their mobility.
Yeah.
All of those roles that support sales, retail, the ability to be mobile. There are such diverse career opportunities in the automotive sector. We've got away from thinking it's just technical.
Yeah.
It's everything.
But it's still a car.
It's still a car.
Still
yeah.
bearings. It's still going to be battery. The battery's going to change, but it's still going to be the other parts of the car that we want people to work on, don't we?
Yeah. As long as people think cars are cool, we're in a good place.
Well, we're also going to increase the classic car market soon, aren't we? Because every ICE engine is going to be a classic car come a few years' time.
Indeed. I mean, all the cars that I lusted after as a teenager are now classics going up in value. 80s hot hatches.
Yeah.
The cars of today, in the very near future, will be regarded as modern classics. Yeah.
It is. So obviously we spoke to the School of Thought this morning. They've got some interesting things about working within the schools. That's a massive key, isn't it? Get into them early.
Yes, and as an organisation we have our Auto City platform, which is our matrix approved careers information, advice and guidance, and that's aimed at exactly that. It's a rich content aimed at making sure that people from junior school all the way through to parents, carers, school teachers, careers advisor have got accurate information about what careers are available in automotive. So we're aligned with that concept, getting in at junior school, making sure people see automotive for what it truly is very important.
And there can't be enough people at the moment trying to push that element, can there? Because
not one person's responsible. We, as a collective, we're all responsible. Employers should be making those connections with schools, going in, giving careers talks, making sure that they are there for their own communities. We can do it on a national scale by creating platforms, but they're the ones that employers need to forge the relationships with the schools, with their community, because that's where the jobs are.
And of course, you've just opened up in partnership with the Ella Academy as well, haven't you? Tell us about that.
Yes, so one of the things that we do is we operate as an awarding organisation for qualifications. They are delivered by IMI approved training centres. So we've got at any one time approximately 500 in the UK, and those approved training centres are colleges of further education, independent training providers, vehicle manufacturers and organisations like Ella, who deliver really high quality training, have got great wonderful facilities, but that need a certified, externally quality assured solution at the end of it, and that's what their relationship with the IMI is, and we're delighted to have that partnership with them and recognise the high quality training that they deliver from their academy.
Because as you said earlier on, it's okay, we need to educate the people coming through, but also we need to educate the current market with new personal development, you said, wasn't it?
Yes, so it's not about just new skilling, clearly that's important, but upskilling existing people in line with all of the change that's happening in our sector is also crucial, and we've got the development solutions to service that part of the sector as well.
And a lot of the times, there's actually financial assistance for businesses for upskilling, isn't there, from their local LEPs, their local councils?
Yeah, a good example will be skills boot camps. So the government, through local enterprise partnerships, can fund skills boot camps, and some IMI approved centres have successfully bid for and won government funding for electric vehicle boot camps that do exactly what you've just described. There's always, depending on government policy change, there's always funding available for people to use to upskill existing technicians.
And of course, we don't know how things are going to shape up over the next month with the UK because of the election. There may be even more money put into the industry.
Whatever government comes into power, we'll be encouraging them to invest as much money as possible in all forms of education, whether it be new talent in the form of apprenticeships or qualifications at colleges, all the way through to making funding available to upskill existing people and those mid-career changers who are reskilling from other sectors. So government funding assistance in all of that will certainly make sure that we're future-proofed as a sector, because the government cannot deliver on its decarbonised transport policy ambition unless we've got skilled people working in and delivering on behalf of the sector.
I think it's fair to say it's a crucial few years.
It is. That 2035 target, which might move back to 2030 or not, depending on what happens at the election, that can only be delivered if we've got skilled people, and there's not a lot of time between now and that day. Those 9 or 6 years, depending on what it is, will go really quickly, and we need to make sure that we're prepared.
And of course, you as the industry leader in standards need to be in touch with that, but also ensure that the right standards are met.
And we do that by working with the industry as a collective. We form sector advisory groups, we create national occupational standards in collaboration with the sector. From those national occupational standard, qualifications are derived, and those are developed in conjunction with the sector. We make sure we've got the right development solutions to deliver work-ready people, and we can't do it in isolation, so it's a collaborative approach.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online or call.
Sophie, Make Time for Tyres has been launched today by the Motor Ombudsman. You're backing this campaign, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's so important to back a campaign, which is very close to my heart. Obviously, tyres are my life, so yeah.
Yeah, because you're depot manager at Westgate Tyres.
Yeah.
But you're also a massive advocate of safe tyres on social media. Why is it critical?
So it's critical because it keeps you safe and it keeps other people safe. And driving around on a tyre that is below 3mm of tread can make a huge difference, never mind getting them bowled or being at the legal limit of 1.6mm. So it is crucial to make sure your tyres are at the correct tread depth, correct pressure, and just in great condition at all times.
And the fact that the Motor Ombudsman, which obviously is a huge name, has backed this campaign, what does that mean?
I think it's amazing that the Motor Ombudsman have backed this campaign because it just shows that clearly people are listening, that there is an issue. And obviously, as garage owners ourselves, we see the issue on a day-to-day basis. So for them to take this and turn it into a campaign and then ask me to support it means the world, really.
I mean, obviously, I follow you on social, and I've seen some of the photos you put up of tyres coming in. They're horrendous, aren't they? They shouldn't even be. They should have been gone months ago. Yeah,
it's horrendous. And I'm not exaggerating when I say we must take off at least 14 to 20 of those tyres a day. And that's only in Morecambe. So we have customers who come to us from the Lake District, from Cumbria, from all over. And if we're taking off that many tyres a day, imagine all the other garages, what they're taking off as well. We have a huge issue on our roads, and it is really scary.
But how do you kind of educate them?
It's hard, really, because we want to educate the consumers, but a lot of them don't want to listen, and that's just purely down to cost. I think a huge factor in that is from COVID. So people's cars were left on the drive for so long, they didn't think about it, so they drove in their car as soon as we could all be free again, and the tyres were under pressured, badly cracked, and weren't fit for road purpose. So from there, I think a lot of people have just put it to the back of their minds, and that's how the issue has unfortunately got worse. Now, to educate people, all we can do is, tell them what to do, but they have to listen. So I think it's hard, and we need more backing. So being backed by people like the Motor Ombudsman, it hopefully should make a change.
But it's the consequences, isn't it? That's unthinkable.
Yeah. And I think the consequences, again, are the one thing that is put to the back of people's minds. I have met so many bereaved families, which, through my road safety campaigning, and luckily none are due to tyre-related incidents, but the day I was to meet somebody who's been left bereaved because somebody has driven into them because they've had bald tyres, they've not been able to stop, I think for me, it's just the risk that I wouldn't ever want to have.
I think for me, it's the fact that there's a lot of issues on the road that we can't help or avoid, but this is something that's so simple, and if you look after your car, it actually lasts longer and saves money in long term anyway, doesn't it?
And tyres are the cheapest part of your car to maintain. So you have to think, you'll put a set of tyres on your car, it might cost you, say, £300, depending on what size it is, but that £300 should, if you look after the tyres by keeping them correctly inflated, keeping your car aligned as well, and maintaining those tyres, then you're bound to get at least, say, 3 years out of them. You should be getting thousands of miles out of them, but if you don't look after them, then you will have to replace them, so then they do cost you money, whereas everything else on your car has to be serviced every year, has to be MOT'd every year. You know, those things have to be done every year, whereas your tyres don't. So if only people realised, if I look after my tyres, I only have to change them every 2 to 3 years. They are the cheapest part of the car, really.
And you can do them at home now. It's so simple, isn't it? The instruments that are around, certainly from the likes of Ring, the inflators, you can just plug them in and just you
100%. And I think the one thing people don't know is maybe what the correct pressure is.
Yeah.
So it's always, you know, people waste a lot of money by not having the tyres correctly inflated. They're either overinflated or underinflated. So the education side maybe needs to be how to make sure they are correctly inflated. And I think if people think about it a bit more, like they maybe thought about just the general going out of the house every day, let's think about my tyres today, then we'd all probably be a lot safer.
And of course, you're accredited to the Ombudsman, and this is their campaign that you're part of now. Why are you accredited to the Ombudsman? Is it because of things that they promote in safety?
I think we wanted to be accredited by the Motor Ombudsman just so we can give our customers that further assurance that, okay, these guys are trustworthy, they are honest. And also, it's great to be accredited by them because they're such a great name. And then obviously now doing this campaign as well with them, it just backs up even more what we want to do.
I think it creates that assurance that you're not actually just trying to ask people to be better on their tyres for your sake of your garage and making money, but actually you just want to be safe and fair. Because as you accredit to the Ombudsman, you have to be, don't you? Because people can take cases to the Ombudsman themselves.
100%. You definitely have to be safe and fair. I mean, I'm not going to say we've never had these issues before with customers. We're a garage, everybody has them. So the fact that now we have the backing of the Motor Ombudsman is even better because, you know, we can kind of say, look, if you have an issue, you can go to them and they help us resolve it all in a more professional manner that's dealt with and the customer's happy and we're happy. So.
And a lot of garages will do the checks for free, won't they?
Yeah. So we offer free health checks and free tyre checks just so customers have peace of mind. And then if we do pick up on something, it's up to them if they want to have it done, have it fixed, you know, at least we've been honest and said, look, this is what it is. And also it's that preventative maintenance so the customer doesn't have a big shock when they come to an MOT and it's failed by like a list of 19 things and it's going to cost them a fortune. So, yeah.
You've got some fantastic new products. What have you got in your hand? Let's start with that.
So this is our latest inspection light. It's called the MagFlex Utility Superflex, and the reason is quite obvious because it does twist and turn, but it's just the applications that you can use it on the car or around the car and the ramps is just so many that it's so versatile. So we had to call it the utility lamp. It's very bright, so I won't blind you. It's about 1,000 lumen output.
Yeah.
It has a power saving mode, and then it also has a red fluorescent. So if you are a mobile mechanic going out to breakdowns, it's perfect for either leaving on the side of the road, or you could actually, if you wanted to, wear it, because it does come with hooks which are detachable, so you can strap it around your body, but these hooks are typically used for the under bonnet of a vehicle or connecting to a ramp. So it's versatile. You can use it as a lamp, you can use it as a sight light, or you can use it as a breakdown kind of emergency flare. So it's got loads and loads of applications, and it's a really great product.
Just part of a big year for Ring, isn't it, Henry? Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, it's a very big year for us. So 2024 sees us celebrating our 50th year. We're formed in 1974, and since then we have grown steadily from just distributing light bulbs and car lighting to now a whole range of, some of car accessories, but equally a heck of a lot of workshop, professional tools. So those 50 years are worth marking, and
and what do you put that success down to?
I put it down to understanding our customers, making sure we're always looking after our customers, and that's not just about the product that we're delivering, but also the service, and making sure we are on time and full with them. And we have to thank our customers that have supported us for 50 years. Without them, we wouldn't be here, of course. But I equally do think it's down to Ring's almost pioneering spirit, always looking at what's next. So yes, we're celebrating our 50th and we want to mark it, but I think we're equally looking forward to what's next year, what we got coming around the corner, what can we be doing differently, what do we need to be doing differently, what products should we be bringing out. So I think that's the hallmark of why we've got to 50. It's always looking forward, not just back.
And so we'll look forward first.
Yeah.
Tell us about the next 12 months.
Well, next 12 months we've got our parent company Osram. They're also launching a plus 220 performance halogen bulb, and then there's also excitement around the LED bulb. So we are seeing a lot of development in lighting about getting better lighting on the road. So even if you've got an older car like halogen bulbs, or you're wanting to upgrade to LED, we are seeing transformations. That LED bulbs, though, there's a legality issue. We're trying to make sure that we do get better understanding of what's legal, what's possible on the road for motorists.
And who are you working with in the legality side of things? Because obviously you're great company concepts, but you must be checking.
Yeah, so we're working with the industry body, so we're working with the IAAF on that, we're working with SMMT. We also are trying to speak directly to the ministers about lobbying, not in the sense of lobbying for the sake of it, but actually to understand what LED lights are, what the ramifications are for changing. We've also had touch points with the RAC because they started talking about glare and sensitive about the issue of LED lights being too bright and trying to control that. So yeah, we're talking to a range of people so that everyone understands what LED lights can offer and why they're actually a better proposition.
Are you educating people as well in that? They're coming to you for your experience, but you're also educating them as well. Is that a big part?
Yeah, because LEDs on cars, people get very confused. There's the stuff that comes on the car, completely homologated, it's not a replaceable part. And those are the things like matrix and laser LEDs.
Yeah.
Then you have replacement bulbs, which are LEDs. And some are completely awful. Some are, totally, not designed to put light in a certain way. They just scatter light everywhere. What we're trying to do is work on, our bulbs are trying to maintain the level that UNEC standard should be. But if the law doesn't allow LED bulbs, we can put all the testing forward, but it just doesn't compute with the legal part.
And obviously safety is a massive issue at the moment. We all know about smart motorways. That's a totally different conversation. Perhaps we can get into, but it's a major issue when people break down in live lanes, they need to be seen, etc. So obviously it's a massive issue in everybody's eyes at the moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and I think the RAC have started a campaign about road safety on glare, pothole damage. They're doing a lot of that work. And what we want to make sure is people don't throw, I suppose, the baby out the bathwater, if you know what I mean. Because you've got LED bulbs which can produce a heck of a lot of light, and if they are designed right and they work with the headlight system, they can produce more light on the road, they can produce a better driving experience for motorists, and therefore they are ultimately safer. But if you just ban them blankly, you're denying motorists that opportunity. So there has to be a conversation about what's right, what's wrong.
So tell us about the last 12 months then, because obviously we're talking about the future. Tell us about the last 12 months, what you brought out and the way that's improved the market.
Well, as you'll probably gather when you go around the show, a lot of it is about the electronics of vehicles.
It's a slight issue at the moment, EV.
Yeah, well, not just EV, but just the whole diagnostics. Vehicles are becoming a lot more computerized.
Yeah.
And what message we're trying to get across is, if you are a car mechanic, garage owner, you've really got to start looking at that starting system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power drain now on cars because of that computerized system, and fault finding is a big issue. So we brought out a battery analyzer 950.
Yeah.
So that helps with diagnosing what faults and where to look at. Is it the battery? Is it the alternator? Is it the starting system? Is it the earth? So we've got that out there, and we're arguing that people should be putting that onto their batteries when they get a car straight in, just to know the level of the battery, what work they can do. But equally, if they're getting a replacement battery in, testing it. Because batteries have been sitting on shelves, have the factors being recharged them. If you then start putting a battery in which is below 12.5 volts straight away, you're already into a battery that's starting to decline. So you want to test it and then be safe that, or assured in your knowledge that when you're fitting it to a car, you're fitting a good quality barrage, not just something that's new off the shelf. So that's one of the education pieces we've been trying to be doing this year.
And also, of course, power has never been so much in the news, because we've got battery anxiety on the EVs coming as well.
Massive,
and that you're going to feed into that massively, aren't you? Because you're lighting these power.
Yeah, well, we do a range of EV accessories. We know that market is growing. It's stalled a little bit recently. But I do think now we are seeing that wave of EVs that were bought brand new for the likes of company cars. They're 3-year-olds now. They're entering the market. There's going to be a lot of replacement work to be done on them. There's going to be a lot of servicing work. And yes, while the componentries of an EV car are getting less and less, actually you still need to understand the basics, where the faults are finding. We have electrical analyzers and all the rest of it. So there's plenty of opportunity even within the EV market.
And if your lights take up too many miles out of that battery, with the range anxiety that's already around and the charging points,
and it's not just the main lithium batteries. There's actually a lot of the EVs have a 12-volt battery just to get going. And if you drain the system and you can't then get into your car, you're in all sorts of problems. So again, there's an education piece about looking after that 12-volt battery with a standard charger, or maybe smart charger, because there'll probably be a lithium to lightweight, or AGM because of the stop-start technology, so you'll need a smart charger. So there's an education piece around battery charging, even with lithium electric vehicles.
Sounds like products are actually going to be part of your offering now. You're also going to have to get out there and educate people, and also I think keeping even lighting maintained these days actually saves money in the long run as well, doesn't it?
One of the things we've started doing we started it a couple of years ago, and we've ramped it up massively this year. So we have now 3, and we're going to have a 4th demonstration vehicle on the road, which is one of our sales engineers going out and talking to mechanics at their garages, understanding what problems they have, and educating them on what they need from us. So it's not a hard sales like, come here, look at this product. It's like, right, what work do you do? What's your main work? What kind of issues are you facing? And then having the demonstration van there to actually show products, get them to pick up the product, play with it, buy before you try before you buy almost. And that's really been positive for us, because that's actually getting out into the market, understanding what the issues are, understanding the concerns, but equally they can see the product firsthand. They're not having to rely on the factor, or the factor's not having to kind of think about just service. We're actually doing the servicing part for them.
And it's building trust. Trust never been such a big issue as it is now. We have to build that trust with the consumer.
And mechanics, they are facing a lot of noise from all sorts of competing factors about what parts, what components. So we need to be out there promoting our brands, promoting ourselves to them, and helping them, and creating that level of trust they have with us, that we are supporting them in their business.
Andy Walters from Schaeffler. We're at your conference today in Coventry. Tell us why we are here today.
Purely to showcase, one, the RepXpert portal, the RepXpert network of independent garages that we've got here. Purely to share information, industry trends, talk about different things that are happening, and purely to network. It's just a good networking event.
How important is your relationship with the actual garage owners themselves and the mechanics?
I think it's the relationship with the garage is vitally important, especially from our side, especially with the training that we can offer, because that just gives the garage, the owners, the apprentices that are the garages to have a connection with a tier one supplier like Schaeffler as an example, plus our other partners that are here, really to share information, and they've got that point of contact. If there are issues, if they do need information, they can come in and ask us and talk to us. So.
And I think one thing as an industry we're trying to move away from is the cheap market, cheap parts, let's get it done because you're going to have to be back in a few months. We are trying to create this new industry where quality is actually inexpensive. So I think meeting the garage owners, you can get that message across a bit better, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, with events like this, that networking and getting that message, that the quality, the technical expertise that we've got, the new technology that's coming forward. I mean, things like, you know, I know double clutch isn't new technology, but you've got e-axle systems, you know, for the electrification cars that are coming through. I think it's vitally important to have that connection. Just to share information to those garages, definitely.
And obviously you're a renowned brand in the industry and people know you for the quality you've always produced.
Yeah.
How are you now educating people about the switch from IC to electrification?
We again, going back to this network, we can present things to the garages, present a lot of the technology through our supplier partners in the industry as well. One of the big things that we're trying to get back into is technical evenings. So just getting bums on seats to talk about and showcase these new technologies that are coming through, and just saying, look, we're here to help you and support you through that transition of change in the industry.
And it's important because you're a trusted brand.
Yes.
Let's be honest. So if anybody pass the message to people and it be accepted, it's got to be people like yourself, not only yourself, but other leaders in the industry.
Definitely, from a trusted brand like us, our partners that are here as well, all the tier one suppliers that are here as well, it's vitally important to get that message across.
And where do you see the next few years in the industry going along?
Where do I see the next few years? I think the internal combustion engine's not going away. That's clear to see.
And that's a key message here, isn't it?
Which is a key message. There's still a lot of work that's going to come through these workshop doors for many, many years to come. There is a change coming, electrification. It's not going to stop at electrification, hydrogen. And other alternative fuels that are going to come through to meet those zero emission mandates and targets that are coming through from the government, or the industry as well. So
this is now going to be a key annual date in the Diaries conference. We
hope so. We've got a great, fantastic turnout. It's the first one of a tier one supplier that has been in the industry. So the great turnout, I'm sure we'll be doing these for the years to come as well.
Tell us about the investments you've done to your garage recently.
So what we're trying to do with investment is always invest in our people. People are the most important part of any business. Unless you're an online thing, but you still need someone in the background working the business. We always have to make sure that we're listening to our members of staff.
And what are people telling you at the moment about the industry?
It's a mixed bag of views, really. We've got people saying EVs, we need to work on EVs now, so we've now created Cheshire EV. So we created Cheshire EV to prove confidence, competence and actual qualifications that we can do the jobs in electric vehicles. But as well, people are saying move to hydrogen. Well, we've got a block of EVs now. Someone might as well be working on this, and that's going to be us.
And I think the thing with EVs is it's not just you investing, it's just the UK government investing, the whole world investing, isn't it?
They are, but only at a short stopgap for myself. I'm thinking there's a Japanese market now. They're the three big companies in Japan. They're investing heavily into petrol engines.
Okay.
So running a small petrol motor which generates power to whatever cell it goes into is the way forward. So I can believe there's still going to be a fossil fuel motor somewhere.
There's a lot of scepticism in the industry. I don't sense that from you. You're quite excited about this, aren't you?
Well, you've got to think of change. if you don't move forward with the times, you're left behind. And that's where it always is. I don't want to change, and I feel emotional when I've got to change, but I've got to change because I'm told if you stay in the past, you'll never get anywhere. It's like a downwards escalator. You start at the bottom, and you've got to keep on moving up it, and it's keep on moving down. And this is the motor trade. It moves down, you've got to run to the top. If you don't keep on moving forward on that escalator, you're left behind.
You're right, and if you're standing still, you're going backwards. That's a well-known phrase. What do you see then for the next, what's your business plan for the next 3 or 4 years?
So for the next, me and Sam have been speaking about this. In the next 3 years, we're going to grow our apprentices to be exceptional mechanical component replacers. So we don't want the term fitter and just fit components. We want them to be able to diagnose a job properly, whether it is on a lawnmower all the way up to a plant. I mean, what we do is we specify on cars especially, but we want a diagnosis to be done properly in the first place. Once that is done, and every single person is competent in that, and they need to understand the correct procedure of maintaining the components on a car. What I'm always saying is, no matter what's power in the vehicle, you've got a trackward end, a ball joint, a bottom arm, a steering rack, and tyres.
Are you beating the skill shortage this way? Because it's a common phrase now, skill shortage, but you've not mentioned that. You seem to be beating that in a way.
Yeah, no, we've got apprentices. We've got 8 ramps, we've got 3 full-time apprentices. So if you think about it, I've got 3 young people on ramps, and all I do is bounce between the individual 3 people. And so they say, how do I do this? I'm like, go to the computer and find out. We've got all the data there, we've got all data, Ains Pro, etc. Use the information we pay for, and then come back to me once you're stuck again. And then from that, we've got 2 master techs, we've got another level 4 EV guy who works on our front counter, we've got the guy who trained me up 28 years ago, he's on our MOT ramp. So we've got a really mixed bag. And you know, Hannah, who's 23, she's just come with us, she's got army experience. And so we've got a collective of great people where we're throwing in a mix.
And are these interested in the mechanic side rather than the electrical side?
Yeah, they just want to turn spanners. This is why we're mechanics, because we want to turn spanners. No matter what it is, if you're working on a brand new Jaguar and it's an EV and you go to it and you got a power module what's gone down, you still have to get your spanners out to take the module out of an in-depth part of the vehicle to test it. So we still love our spanners at the end of the day.
Back to the future, I think.
Back to the future, yeah.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online, or call.
I want to talk to you this morning, Andy. You're a big believer in value in the market for the garages, aren't you?
I think for many years we've undervalued our services and the products that we give to the consumers. So I believe vehicle owners have been we've been shortchanged, and I think that they've had our services for next to nothing. And the last few years I've tried to get garage owners, or my garage folk as I call them, to believe in themselves and believe in the service that they provide, which is an honest, reliable service within the community, and also to look at their costs on how they price things up for the vehicle owner. And this is not about trying to rip the vehicle owner off. They're our customers. We want to nurse them to us and get them closer to us. But I don't think a lot of garage owners had an understanding of what they really are worth.
Do you think some of the issue is that when the repair bills are due, it's one big hit at a time? Can we not look as an industry at perhaps monthly payments, yearly, annual payments, etc., making it spread out across the year to make it easier on the consumer?
Service plans haven't been a product that has been available for the independent market for many years. I think there's a few companies now that are looking at that. There's other sort of payment schemes that are available now which weren't available a long time ago. But I think for me, that's not the importance. I think what we have to accept as vehicle owners is, as garage owners rather, is that when car repairs now are not cheap. and I use the word loosely, you know, a basic service now and a couple of tyres and some brakes will cost you £900. And I think it's how we get that message across in the communication of the repair as to whether the vehicle owner believes that's value for money. At the end of the day, the vehicle owner will know that they have to pay for a repair. Whether we offer them an instalment plan or some kind of a payment scheme, I think is secondary to the main issue. The main issue for me is how do we explain the worth of what we're doing, and how do we explain to the vehicle owner that it needs to be done in a professional manner, and they feel they're getting value for money.
I don't think anybody would doubt your passion and your desire for garages to be paid what they're worth. Do you think on parts, I'll just pick on parts first, we're actually getting more and more aware of that on parts now, that the more we spend on parts, the longer they'll last, so actually it's cheaper. I think the old, can I get the parts cheaper, is kind of going a bit now at the industry.
I think if you followed me for a few years now, you'll know that what my feelings are about parts. There's two things on that. The first thing is that as garage owners, we are entitled to make a reasonable margin, a fair reasonable margin on our parts buying, right? It keeps us going and allows us to reinvest in our businesses. I think where the market's changed over the last 3 or 4 years is the internet has caused this craze of people purchasing some of these parts. Some of them are in a white box. Some of them we don't know where they've come from. And people expect us to fit these parts. It doesn't happen in any other industry apart from ours. And then you've got these, what I call the third-party aggregators. So your booking agents who all of a sudden have come in between us, who also now are doing the parts buying for us. So in a sense, we're losing a little bit of control. But for me, I've always been an advocate of I need to control what I buy. It needs to be an OE Tier 1 product, and I've been one of those advocates for many years, and people know that. Fit and forget. Why would I want to give a consumer a choice? I'll give you an analogy that I use in my training. If you go into a greasy cafes for a breakfast, you don't get someone coming up to you and saying to you, there's the menu for the good stuff, and there's the menu for the shit stuff. Which one would you want? Isn't it? So we're professionals, and we have to make sure we override those concerns and explain to the consumer why we're using a Tier 1 part. If we say Schaeffler, for example, the bearings or the timing belts or a clutch, LUK, and explain the features and the benefits of why we're using that product.
And also, I think obviously parts are only part of it, but obviously labour costs as well. I think because we've moved more towards the Tier 1 parts, I think garages are thinking, I can't charge my normal labour charge because the overall bill, and the overall bills aren't actually increasing, are they?
And this is where the garage inspector comes in. This is where the teaching and the learning. So what you've got to remember is that if I go back 10 years, the actual parts prices now of aftermarket, and there's some good aftermarket, let's not tarnish everyone.
No.
And the cost of an OE part, it's narrowed. Years ago the gap was like this. But now the gap is very narrow. You might be talking about very small margins of getting a Tier 1 part rather than an aftermarket part. So that's a consideration for us. Plus, Tier 1 parts are widely available now from a lot of the big parts manufacturers and companies, so that should make it easier. But one thing that I try and educate my garage folk is that the only thing a garage sells is labour.
It is.
Time, knowledge, skill, you call it what you want. That's the only thing that we sell. So we need to be in control of that. And if we don't make money from that, we're not going to survive just on parts. Parts is the byproduct. We don't have control of how many parts we sell because it's the combination of how much labour we sell. And that's what I try and get people to focus on, is how we can maximise labour efficiency in order to increase our profitability.
But that's why we've got distributors, is to distribute the parts.
Absolutely.
So, I know that the distributors sell it at a margin and the retailers add their margin, but all the margins are squeezed then because there's so many involved in that chain. So the labour costs are the key, but how do garages go about increasing the labour costs and actually talking to clients? What would to a garage owner now, what would you say to them?
So the first thing you have to understand is, I'll give an analogy, right? if I seek a plumber to come to me in London, it's £100 before they even knock on the door. Yeah?
Yeah. It is.
And they haven't got premises.
Yeah.
So it's about being professional, big shoulders, and just explaining to consumers that running a business has overheads.
Yeah.
And we need staff and we need continual training. And that has to be covered in our labour charges.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've done enough of that over the years. You know, it's the labour rate has been picked because it's the going rate in the area.
Yeah.
No analysis about operating costs or how efficient the workshop is.
Or even future investments.
Or even taking a day off for something like this. Maybe bring in 1 or 2 of your staff members.
Yeah.
Your sales will go down. But this is not a cost, this is an investment. Yeah? So ongoing costs will never go down.
No.
They're only going up. Yet our labour rates have been stagnant for a long time. And I think it's how we get our message across through communication, through our body language, how we express the features and the benefits of why we're doing and what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think if we can get that value across, then I think price will become secondary. Yes, it's a consideration for all of us, but I think it will become secondary if we approach it in a far more professional, informative way.
And we're back to where we started, because if the cost isn't one big hit and it's over a year or something, then we're all know where we stand.
Absolutely. And I think if we can give those options to our vehicle owners, we have a better chance to survive. However, I believe there's never been a better time to be in the garage sector than today.
Mark from EngTech launches new initiatives at the UK Garage and Bodyshop event. Tell us about them.
Yep, launching Garage Pro and Rewards Pro here at the event. Both going down an absolute storm with everyone who's come to the stand so far.
It's giving things back to the garages, isn't it?
We want to take control of the messaging, or more control of the messaging. We want to help improve training, learning. We want to reward the installers for fitting our products, create loyalty at that level.
And do you think the market itself now is trying to give garages back? Because the garages have been very loyal during difficult times over the last 4 years, haven't they?
They have, and we want to reward that loyalty. You know, we know that people like fitting our product, they want our product, they want more of our product, and we want to reward that.
And also, I feel now garages are seeing premium suppliers such as yourself and thinking, I'll fit that part because it's going to last longer, it's going to give them more value to the customer, aren't they?
Absolutely. And particularly on the Rewards Pro, the opportunity to get an extended warranty free of charge is a big sell.
And what have garages been saying back to you this?
They love it.
They love it.
They love it. I mean, this is a brand new launch. It only came to light yesterday for the whole marketplace. They've never seen it before, but they love it. They can't wait to get going.
And how are things in general?
Busy.
Busy?
Really busy. Yeah, really positive. The UK market is very positive for our products at the moment. Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
I think, as you're saying, the car park's getting older. So repairs are becoming more frequent on vehicles, in our opinion. And there's a buzz. There seems to be a buzz around quality products in the marketplace. You know, people are fitting better products all the time, not just settling for the cheapest, lowest cost products. They want good quality products. So anyone who's in that sector that's manufacturing and supplying good quality products, they're seeing a real benefit to sales at the moment in the market.
And do you think people now are actually repairing earlier because they're actually going to save money in the long run as well?
Yes, I think in some cases, yes. I think that's the case. With ours, ours is a real distressed product. It's no one wants to fit our product ideally. They have to fit it to meet emission standards and stuff like that. But I think that they're not putting it off. You know, if they have to do it, rather than trying to find a quick fix or something like that, they're absolutely going ahead with the repair and installing products like ours.
I think people now are more aware of what not doing the repairs when they need doing, and letting that fester can actually have a long-term impact on other parts of the vehicle, couldn't it?
Absolutely. I think there's definitely more awareness of delaying things can impact things further down the line, and the repair costs just become astronomical at that point. So.
And I think also garages now are moving more towards the fact that they want to maintain that customer's car, so they're in control of the vehicle, and then if there is any issues, it can be resolved without an issue.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we see that. I mean, you know, at garage level now, they're looking at a journey, a lifetime journey with customers and vehicles and stuff like that. You know, customer care seems to be way more important than it ever has been at that level. And that's where we want things like our Rewards Pro and the Garage Pro to come into light, you know, and help that journey for the installers to keep customers in cars within their network for as long as possible.
And also, it's giving the clients confidence in your products, the end user confidence in your
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And if we're prepared to put additional manufacturer's warranties behind our product, it says a lot from our side, about the quality.
That's it for this episode. Tune in again next month for more from the UK Garage and Bodyshop event and the Schaeffler conference and more. Don't forget to like and subscribe.